Mr. President, I have been listening to this debate, not just now, but for 61 days, as we have been working extremely hard to get the budget passed and then go to conference to work with our House colleagues, who, by the way, are majority Republicans. And we are working to do that because the American people have been very loud about not managing by crisis. And we all know that what will happen if we don't go to conference is exactly what the senator from Utah has been saying he doesn't want. If we go to conference, we will have an open conference committee to discuss the differences between the House and the Senate budgets that will then give the instructions to conference on how to move forward on our appropriations bills that we are now looking at and how we're going to deal with sequestration. It will be an open debate that will come back here. But if we are not allowed to go to conference, what will happen, because we do have to pass our appropriations and spending bills or move to a continuing resolution because we can't if we don't get a budget deal, we're going to have closed-door discussions, secret discussions to figure out a way what we're going to do when that debt ceiling hits, and it will come down on you in the middle of the night, and you won't have had an opportunity to be a part of it because of the delay that is occurring right now. If the Senate allows us to go to conference, members of the Senate, both Democrats and Republicans, my counterpart Senator Sessions and I and his committee, as well as Congressman Ryan from a Republican Party in the House and his committee members and Democrats will sit together in an open process and determine how we move our budget forward.
For a question?
I'd be happy to.
In case of the appointment of conferees, will you have it open to the public and C-SPAN or any other media coverage that would like to come in the room?
Well, once the conference is set and we begin to meet as a conference, it is like any other committee hearing where absolutely the public will be able to come in and listen. They will be able to watch on C-SPAN. It will be an open process. But I would tell the senator from Arizona that if we don't get to conference, we are going to have discussions as a country about how we manage our finances and our government moving forward, and those will be behind closed doors. So what the senator is objecting is because of closed-door secret meetings he is causing. So I would really hope that our Republican colleagues would allow us to move forward. As the senator from Missouri said, we had 50 hours of debate. We had over 100 amendments that were considered. Not one amendment was offered or considered on the debt ceiling, which is now what they're objecting that we go to conference to. And we had an ability, in fact, the senator from Texas, I believe, offered 17 amendments, and he's been objecting because of this. Not one of them about the debt ceiling. I know the senator wants to have a debt ceiling debate here on the floor of the Senate. He is welcome to come to the floor of the Senate anytime and talk about the debt ceiling. We welcome that discussion. We believe that our bills should be paid. That's separate from what we're talking about here. We're talking about a budget resolution. I would be happy to use.
How many amendments were considered?
There were over 100 amendments considered. There was 50 hours of debate, equally divided. Every senator participated.
And how many were voted on?
70 were.
Over 70 were agreed to.
But there was not one amendment on the debt ceiling.
Not one amendment was offered or considered on the debt ceiling.
I thank the senator.
And I would add that what the senator from Missouri has offered, after talking with the senator from Arizona, is the ability now to have a vote on that, despite there wasn't any during that, to offer with our consent that, yes, okay, fine, if you have to have that now, we want to get to conference, we will allow a vote on that, and proceed to the budget. So I do not understand this argument that we are going into some secret meeting. I assure the senator that we have seen secret meetings here when it comes to the budget in the past that have gotten us all to a very frustrating point. Let's move to conference so we do not have those secret meetings. You are arguing for something, I would say to the senator from Utah, that you are going to cause. So I would really hope that we can come to an agreement on this. We've offered a consent that offers 2 amendments to be considered. We hope to have those. We hope to go to conference. I assure you that we will be as open and as transparent as possible. That budget resolution will come back to the Senate Everyone will have a chance to have their say if they want that, and then that budget resolution will give us our instructions so we can continue to move forward on regular order to fund the Defense Department, to fund agriculture, to fund education, to fund the different aspects of government, transportation, and housing. That is our obligation to do as the United States Congress in order for the American public to be able to manage what we are doing, what they are required to do once we pass our budget. So I would really urge our Republican colleagues to back off on their insistence on this. I am ready to go to conference. Am I going to like what comes out of conference? As chair of the Budget Committee that worked really hard to get a budget passed here in the Senate? Probably not. But I know my responsibility as a United States Senator is to work with my House Republican colleagues and those on our conference committee to come to the best judgment we can mutually to move our country forward and to get us out of this management by crisis that is forced on us time and time again over the last several years. The American people deserve certainty. That certainty will come when we can move to conference with an open, transparent committee process that allows us to get the budget in order. And I urge our colleagues to reconsider their